Hello, everyone. Welcome to Minor Wellness. And today, message from Spirit that I'm receiving that we should talk bring forward is about our relationships and how they can help us grow. And really seeing them as an opportunity for us to grow. So with that, I want to define relationships. When I am referencing relationships in today's video, we are talking about all relationships. We are talking about romantic, business, friendship, parenting, all the different relationships in your life. It includes them all because they are a part of our life in many different ways. And so just knowing that this includes all of your relationships, partnerships in your life. And you may use the word relationship and partnerships interchangeably. I am talking about the same thing. So with that, the message is around how we can utilize our relationships to grow ourselves, grow together, and be more in harmony. Now, when I say that, knowing that we may not agree on everything, our opinions may differ, and that's okay. But knowing that we can still be in harmony together. And if a relationship is very heavy, not serving us, that maybe that relationship is not meant to be, but that we can still choose love. And so when I dive into this deeper, what I mean is that when challenged in our relationships, that instead of becoming emotionally reactive, defensive, shutting down, feeling maybe anger, whatever it is in that you don't like what someone is maybe saying, is really taking a step back. And instead of reacting, saying to yourself, thank you for showing me this. For showing me this instance where I have become and started to feel these feelings and where I need to grow. But outwardly expressing to the person maybe that just listening, maybe there is no need for you to respond in this instance. Maybe you're being asked to listen. Maybe it is learning that they have a different opinion or feeling on something, and just respectfully agreeing to disagree. And we're walking away from the conversation. But then going back to that conversation and really being open with ourselves on what in that conversation caused you to want to be emotionally reactive. What caused you to want to throw up the walls what caused you to want to become so defensive? And really being open to the fact that we may need to grow through something yet. And in our relationships, they can be very testing and trying for us. But it's being open to seeing where, as a person, we can grow in our lives. And do we try to change that and experience the growth so we can better handle these situations? Or do we continue to go down the path of just being reactive, not being open to others' different opinions or feelings? And like, I want to affirm that like we don't have to always agree with one another. It's okay to form our own opinions and have our own beliefs. It doesn't make it wrong or right on either side. It's about an acceptance. And relationships right now are being heavily focused upon. So maybe you've noticed more of this in your surroundings and it's really been trying. We like to jump to conclusions in our conversations about what someone might be saying. And it's really releasing that jumping, again, that reactivity. Because when we jump, we don't hear. We don't stay open to what the person might actually be saying. Because within us, it triggered something that we've maybe dealt with in the past. But they're not intentionally trying to do that, maybe in a conversation. And there may be situations where that is what's happening. I don't want to discount that or discredit that one, that that could be happening. But there are going to be a lot of times in your life or that you've already experienced where something is said and it's probably not how the person actually meant it, but is what your mind created it to be. And that's where the growth is choosing to, in those moments, instead of falling into that cycle again, is choosing to see that we need to open our hearts, right? And open our ears to hear what they're actually saying. And are they actually saying this out of love? Maybe it's tough love, right? But it can still be coming out of a place of love. And when we choose to take that pause, a pause isn't bad. People think that they have to be like firing off, like, instantly in a conversation, back and forth, but like we're allowed to pause and process and think about our response. Doesn't mean we're avoiding it. And that's another thing. Don't avoid it. But you're allowed to pause just to take that in and see, was there higher meaning to this? To feel deeper and see, wow, that really brought up some feelings. And that's okay. But knowing that we cannot always blame and take it out on the person in front of us that we're having a conversation with. Because it's within. It's within us where we need to assess and why we're feeling emotionally reactive. And by doing this and really looking at ourselves, we can allow more of our relationships to be that ones of harmony, partnership, holding hands. Because when you choose to be in the reactive, you're doing this with one another. Because you're both talking and you're not listening. And eventually, when you keep ramming into each other with those conversations, you wear that thin. It doesn't feel good anymore. But if we can open ourselves, right? We have these slots here, open ourselves to where we can come together. More fun. It's a more harmonious feeling. And in doing this, we choose to be loving and open. And when you are faced with these feelings that are triggered within you by a conversation, it's asking us to grow and to heal that. So do you open yourself to growing and healing that, or do you keep living the cycle? Because I tell you what, it's going to keep appearing until you see that you can grow beyond this. And it's knowing that the relationships around us are meant to be ones of harmony. That doesn't mean giving up our truth, not speaking to keep the harmony. But for those relationships to be ones where you can speak your truth, they know who you are, you know who they are, and yet, even though through your differences, you can still love that relationship. You can still see the harmony within it and the acceptance of that we're never going to be exactly the same. We don't have to be. We're all meant to be unique. Relationships are hard. But beautiful and easy. They teach us a lot. But it's whether or not we choose to see that. Because when you see it, you grow. You can grow together. You can hear each other. The respect grows. So next time you're in a conversation with someone, and you feel yourself starting to build in that emotional reactivity, stop and ask yourself, what about this is causing me to feel this way? Have I experienced this before and it's taking me back there? What lesson can I learn so I can grow to be at peace? To know that it's safe to be who I am at all times. I'm just honoring that. It is safe to be ourselves at all times. And not everyone is going to understand that. But that's where right now maybe you're being asked to see those around you that honor and respect you for who you are. And maybe you have those relationships, partnerships that are being asked to be released from your surroundings. Or maybe you're being asked to see the growth and the opportunity of this challenging relationship. But I caution you, because we never want to forcefully drain ourselves in a relationship, trying to force that person to stay in our life. But simply, sometimes by releasing the trying to control it strengthens your bond, because you have space to grow as individuals, which leads to growth together. Because if we're not open to growing ourselves, it makes it more challenging to grow in our relationships, because we're part of that relationship. In those relationships, it takes 2, 3, if it's business related, it can be miles of groups, friendships, it can be multiple people, but in our relationships, it takes 2. And both people need to be open to that growing. And we are often surrounded with, and relationships are placed in our lives to help us grow. You can say, I've done the work. I've grown as a person. The growing is never done. And it's not this daunting task that people sometimes feel like it should be. But it's being open to seeing sometimes where we just need to experience a little more growth. And so I hope that in your relationships, your partnerships, you can be open to seeing yourself on a deeper level. So that way you can see others at that deeper level. And it's this recognition that if we're in a conversation and we maybe say something and can see or feel in the other that, wow, this may have triggered something that this person is needing to see or address within themselves, we can help by maybe switching, the topic, or asking them like, hey, I know I just said that. It feels like you're processing, like, are you okay with continuing this conversation, or would you like to switch topics? Or would you like to end the conversation altogether? It's an energetic exchange. We want it to be beneficial for both. And if one person is feeling like they need to exit the conversation, is a great opportunity energetically to help them with that. Because it's a boundary. So in the end, it's just about being open, seeing the growth opportunities in our lives, in our relationships. What is it that's being brought up, and how we can continue to heal and grow past that so we can strengthen our relationships that we want to blossom. And seeing the beauty in it, even when it feels challenging. Because there's always something that we can take away from it that is beautiful. With this, I hope you feel more at peace. Harmony. Your heart is open. And until next time.